49.7 trillion naira to 54.2 trillion naira. The Nigerian Senate threatens to issue warrant of arrest on some agencies of government for undermining its summoned to answer queries raised. On the foreign scene, Donald Trump's plan for the U.S. to take over war-torn Gaza and create a Riviera of the Middle East shatters U.S. policy on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and sparked widespread criticism. Details of these and more will come to you shortly. Do stay with us. And now the news in full. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has departed Abuja for Paris, France, on a private visit en route to Addis Ababa, the Ethiopian capital. President Tinubu will join African leaders at the 46th Ordinary Session of the Executive Council and the 38th Ordinary Session of the Assembly of the AU Heads of State, scheduled from February 12 to 16, 2025. Speaking on the African Union Summit, the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Public Communications, Sunday Dare, said the summit will avail the President the opportunity to brief the continental body on what ECOWAS has been doing since assumed office as chairman of the sub-regional body. And now to carry the rest of the stories. Vice President Kashim Shettima has inaugurated the Supervisory Board of the Debt Management Office (DMO) as part of efforts by the federal government to strengthen fiscal and monetary policy coordination and ensure long-term debt sustainability in line with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. Speaking during the meeting of the board on Wednesday at the Presidential Villa, the Vice President, who is also chairman of the board, charged the members to come up with a more strategic approach to public debt management. He noted that Nigeria must continue to use public debt as a vehicle for the development of critical infrastructure and tool for economic growth and poverty reduction. Vice President explained that his approach aligns with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, which prioritizes fiscal discipline, economic stability, and sustainable development. The Vice President also noted Nigeria's recent success in the global financial market on the issuance of a $2.2 billion double tranche Euro, which he described as a testament to investor confidence in the country. President Bola Tinubu has formally requested the National Assembly to increase the 2025 budget from 49.7 trillion naira to 54.2 trillion naira, citing additional revenue from key government agencies. This appeal was conveyed in a letter read by Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, during Wednesday's plenary session. Tinubu attributed the proposed budget increase to extra funds generated by the Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS), Nigeria Customs Service (NCS), and other revenue-generating agencies. According to the letter, the FIRS contributed 1.4 trillion naira. The NCS generated 1.2 trillion, and other government-owned entities raised an additional 1.8 trillion naira.
To inform you of the availability of additional revenue amounting to 4 trillion 530 billion 479 million 970,000.
The President also emphasized that the revised allocation framework reflects his administration's commitment to fostering inclusive growth, addressing security challenges, and strengthening Nigeria's economic resilience. Raising a point of order, Minority Leader Honorable Kingsley Chinda argued that the budget should not be presented through a letter, but through a formal process under Section 83 of the Constitution.
This allocation framework underscores underscores the administration's dedication to fostering inclusive growth, addressing security challenges, and building resilience into Nigeria's economic fabrics. This investment will, one, promote stability by addressing critical infrastructure deficits, especially in underserved regions, and strengthening national security.
So if we have additional fund, there are places to apply it, and it will still be to the credit of the country. And if we are 2025, we project that we are going to get additional revenue, it is for us to look at the budget, apply it properly, and send back to the executive.
Thank you.
It is not by way of this letter and expression of where this fund should be applied.
Thank you.
So that's why budget can come for 4 trillion.
Meanwhile, the defection of Senator Ned Nwoko from the People's Democratic Party (PDP) to the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC) has further swelled the camp of the ruling All Progressive Congress at the Senate. This has further weakened the opposition's presence in the 10th Senate, a development that underscores the shrinking influence of the PDP as a formidable opposition force. Following this latest political realignment, the composition of the Senate is as follows: APC 64 senators, PDP 33 senators, Labour Party 5, New Nigeria People's Party NNPP 2, Social Democratic Party 2, All Progressive Grand Alliance APGA 1. The Senate currently has 107 members, with 2 vacant seats, 1 Anambra South vacant following the demise of Senator Ifeanyi Ubah, and Edo Central vacant following the emergence of Senator Mondo Okpebholo as governor of Edo State. Correspondent Kulujo reports that the Senate President Godswill Akpabio has moved to constitute a committee to look into the crisis rocking the People's Democratic Party.
In view of the need to maintain multi-party democracy in Nigeria, I urge the Senate to take this matter seriously by setting up an ad hoc committee. It did not suggest who should head it, so it didn't mention Senator Abaribe, to investigate the crisis within the People's Democratic Party and even go ahead to recommend a way forward in order to safeguard opposition politics in Nigeria.
This move was countered by Senator Abba Moro, a development that almost led to exchange of words among the senators. As a result of the argument, the Senate President Godswill Akpabio decided to hold back the plan to constitute the committee.
The PDP is a law-abiding institution organization, and so the Court of Appeal made a pronouncement on the secretaryship of the party, and the party is adhering to that Court of Appeal decision until it is otherwise ruled.
What has the Supreme Court said?
The Court of Appeal has ruled that Senator Anyanwu is the secretary of the party, and that until the Supreme Court decides otherwise.
Sub G. The proviso, whether or not there is division in PDP, is a matter of fact that will not be tried on the floor of this Senate. They can go to the court of law. It is visible, Mr. President, distinguished colleague, even to the blind, that there are sharp divisions in the PDP as of today.
The Nigerian Senate has threatened to issue a warrant of arrest on some critical revenue-generating agencies of government for undermining its summon to answer queries raised by the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation with regards to financial transactions. Correspondent Kulujo completes the story.
The Senate Committee on Public Accounts, chaired by Senator Aliyu Ahmed Wadada, speaking at a press conference in Abuja, expressed shock regarding how some billions of naira left government coffers, which the affected agencies should account for in line with legislative provisions that empowers the parliament to investigate. Wadada said Auditor General's report, which was only submitted to the committee on health rot in some agencies of government, that it takes only an irresponsible parliament not to conduct public investigation. investigations. He was appalled at how these agencies conspire together and have taken decision not to honor invitations by the Senate committee.
And from today, after this press briefing, whoever invitation is extended to, and he or she refuses to appear before this all-important committee, warrant of arrest will be issued, and we will call on the president to disengage that person, because the person does not share in the dreams of Mr. President to and for making Nigeria a better place.
In another development, the Senate has pardoned the project coordinator of the hydrocarbon pollution remediation project, Professor Nenebarini Zabe, after its deliberation, and allowed him to face the Senate Committee on Public Accounts. Appearing before the committee, Professor Zabe explained that his absence was due to his participation in COP30 and other pressing commitments related to his official duties. Responding, Senator Abdullahi Ningi and other committee members accepted his apology, acknowledging the gravity of the issue, but stressed the need to allow progress for the good of the nation.
For not appearing some time ago, the first time we were invited, of course we got the invite late, but I rushed down. It was my first time in the Senate.
We took very, very painful decision to do what we did as a committee because of the sensitivity of your organization as far as the Nigerian project is concerned. You may not believe it. You don't need to be from Niger Delta or from Ogoni to understand the plight, the suffering, the human degradation.
Recall that the Senate had threatened to issue a warrant of arrest against Professor Zabe for failing to appear before the committee to provide updates on the progress of the Ogoniland clean-up. From Abuja, Kunle Ojo, Galaxy TV.
The House of Representatives has resolved to investigate reports of the unsolicited and illegal linking of National Identification Number (NIN) by telecom service providers in Nigeria. The decision came after the adoption of a motion of public importance moved by Honorable Patrick Umar, who called on the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) to investigate the allegations and take immediate action against any telecom provider found guilty.
The House notes with concern the recent reports of telecom service providers in Nigeria linking national identification numbers (NIN) to subscribers' lines without their consent, thereby exposing them to criminal activities and subjecting legitimate NIN holders to grave risk.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has called on the Nigerian police and other security agencies to collaborate with local vigilante groups in conducting thorough operations across forests nationwide to eliminate the hideout of bandits and armed herdsmen. This followed a motion moved by Honorable Billy Osawaru seeking end to armed banditry and other criminal activities of the men of the underworld.
The House is also aware that this ugly trend of insecurity is detrimental to the growth, development, and future of the nation as panic and tension continually mount on the citizens regarding their safety.
Also, the House urged the Federal Ministry works in partnership with the Federal Road Safety Corps (FRS) and vehicle inspection officials to enforce stricter regulations and implement more rigorous maintenance checks for trailers and petroleum tankers to enhance road safety. This resolution was adopted following a motion of urgent public importance moved by Honorable Yinka Aluko.
Resolved
primarily caused by factors such as driver's fatigue, poor vehicle maintenance, inadequate training, poor road conditions, tragic secondary incidents like the scooping of fuel from foreign tankers, and weak enforcement of existing regulations.
You're still on to Galaxy Primetime News, and coming up next. The Nigerian Union of Journalists decries the increasing rate of harassment, threat, intimidation and injustice against journalists in Nigeria. Details of these and more will come to you shortly. Do stay with us. We're glad to have you back. Now for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect to us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GalaxyTVNews. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate a live update and comment, as you can easily scan our IGQR code. Management Authority LASMA condemned the recklessness of a fully loaded trailer driver whose overspeeding and subsequent loss of control resulted in a devastating accident at the Ojodu-Bega axis of Lagos. Preliminary investigations revealed that the ill-fated trailer bearing Bauchi State registration number came from Agidingbi by Oba Ogunji Road in a route to Omole Junction in the Oba corridor. The driver, operating at an alarmingly high speed, lost control and resulted in a catastrophic collision. The sheer impact of the crash inflicted severe trauma on the LASMA officer, leading to a grievous fracture of his right leg and hand. Upon emergency medical assessment at the Surgical Emergency Center of the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital LASUT, attendant specialists determined that the extent of the injuries necessitated an immediate amputation of his right leg. In a brazen attempt to evade justice, the culpable trailer driver absconded from the scene. However, through the concerted effort of security operatives from Ojodu Police Station in collaboration with vigilant LASMA officials, he was swiftly apprehended. The Nigerian Defense Academy on Wednesday planted 500 trees as part of activities to celebrate 61 years of existence. The commandant of the academy, Major General John Ochai, says this is part of their contribution to environmental conservation by establishing the largest man-made biodiversity conservation center in Nigeria, which will be achieved within the next decade. Major General John Ochai, in his address, says the tree planting campaign will help in providing history for the event, how the trees will grow and be beneficial to the community. Professor Byron Omere, Director NDA Biodiversity Conservation Center, says the human activities have long taken a toll on the environment, leading to desert encroachment, flooding and extinction of vital habitat. If left unchecked, these activities will continue to wreak havoc on the ecosystem, and that is why the NDA is leading the fight against climate change and providing avenue for research.
That we are going to plant trees. The trees we are going to plant this morning will grow and it will signify today's event. Today's event will not be lost in history. Some will say this is the peak of the dry season, that the trees we are planting today may not survive.
however, that lies the challenge. In the Nigerian Defense Academy, we train cadets to become officers who solve problems. So, the challenge of ensuring that the trees we plant today will all live until rain commences will be accomplished.
If I had known that these resources are in this reserve, I would have been less prodigal in my use of explosives. So that tells you that what values are in the forests and the way people have been misusing them. So we are happy at that.
Last year we established the Biodiversity and Conservation Center, and it's aimed at enhancing knowledge and education. It's also aimed at building our capacity for environmental sustainability. It's also aimed at aligning the institution with global practices of care for the environment.
The suspended traditional ruler of Orile for Oba Abdulsemiu Ogunjobi has been remanded at the Laro Correctional Center in Ogun State after failing to meet his bail conditions. The spokesperson for the correctional facility, Yinka Odukoya, confirmed this to newsmen on Wednesday, stating that the monarch remains in custody as he had yet to perfect his bail. The Ogun State Police Command had on Tuesday arraigned the suspended monarch over a viral video in which he was seen assaulting a 73-year-old man, Ibrahim Ariola. According to the charge sheet, the suspended monarch was accused of conspiracy, assault and conduct likely to cause a breach of the peace. Benue State Civil Protection Guard has arrested 4 persons who claim to be members of the National Hunters and Forest Security Services fighting Boko Haram and other insurgents in Maiduguri, the Borno State. They were arrested in Alide in Gweru, local government area of Benue, by state local security outfit through the support of vigilant members of the public 2 days after they arrived at town. The suspects, who couldn't speak clear English during interview, said they are trained 18 numbers. It was a Chinese company who brought them from Nasarawa State to come and secure their properties, stating that they were hunters from Maiduguri, Borno State, who had been fighting insurgents but didn't know they were in Benue. The Internal Security Advisor to Benue, Governor on Internal Affairs, Joseph Har, said the statement of the suspect were conflicting about their identity, assuring they will be handed to the police for further investigation to join 24 others already in police custody.
We are not supposed to be here. We're supposed to be Nasarawa State.
Okay.
Yes. Our letter to Nasarawa.
So why did you come to Benue?
The Chinese company brought us to Benue.
Actually, as you are aware, the Benue State Civil Protection Guards are first responders supporting the conventional security. And as an office, I also have a lot of people that are watching the state for us. You should see something, you see something, you say something.
Armed men suspected to be headsmen have reportedly attacked 3 Benue community in Gweru government area, killing, injuring, and several others and destroying crops and properties. Telmoon Francis, a resident of one of the attacked communities, said 2 farmers were brutally attacked while attempting to drive cattle away, herders from their cassava farms, when the attackers reportedly amputated the farmers' hands during the confrontation. According to him, the armed men were retreating when they killed another person along the way. It was later confirmed the following morning that 2 more farmers were killed on their farms at Se Agapwa village in the Urwa clan. The problem started on Sunday when a farmer angrily chased out cows grazing on his farm. In the process of quarreling with the herders, they retaliated by cutting off his hand, escalating the situation as the armed herders opened fire on villagers. When asked about the identities of the victims and the exact number of casualties, could not give exact figures of persons killed, but said many were affected. 5 suspects who are among a group of one-chance syndicate have been arrested by the River State Police Command. The suspect, according to a statement in the command spokesperson, Grace Iringekoko, were apprehended by the surveillance patrol team attached to the Hyper City unit of the State Police Command while on patrol along Eastern Bypass in Port Harcourt. The arrest was said to have been made possible by one of the victims who placed a distress call to the police that her phone and other valuables were snatched by the group in a Volkswagen Vento saloon car with Anambra State registration number. The team were said to have responded swiftly and intercepted the vehicle, leading to the arrest of the suspect. The River State Police Commissioner, CP Olubenga Adipoju, while commending his officers for their quick response, said the command is determined to tackle the menace of one-chance robbers in the state. As the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, calls for investigation into the arrest of 6 inmates and officials of the Federal Correctional Center in Warri, a senior advocate of Nigeria, Kunle Edun, has called for thorough probe over the allegation of robbery incident involving inmates of the Federal Correctional Center, Warri. This is coming as an activist who broke the news in an exclusive interview with Gauzy News says he will not be deterred despite the threat to his life. Correspondent Dele Fason has more.
Speaking on the incidents which led to the arrest of 6 suspects, the senior advocate described it as a comparison to a movie scene as the right activists raised the alarm over threat to his life.
I thought such thing could only happen in the movies, but lo and behold, it actually happened in Warri, Yale. And it's something that I'm using this opportunity to call upon the federal government, particularly the Minister of Interior, Internal Affairs, who I've acknowledged as a performing minister, to set up immediately a probe panel. This incident must be probed, because a situation where prison inmates are released to go and commit crimes outside, then later come back to the same prison as if nothing happened. That is a new rubbish.
I've been receiving threats to my life and I've been on the ground. But we are not disturbed. We are resolute to continue in the path of rightness, because if we don't talk, we may not be able to reform our society. So I've been on the ground because I'm being threatened from left, right, back, and center. But we are resolute that we shall continue to speak for the downtrodden and oppressed in this.
It will be recalled that 6 suspects were arrested after a crack investigation by the DPO of Ekpan Police Division in Warri, Aliyu Shaba, which led to the arrest of the suspects, who were said to have left the correctional center for a robbery operation in Benin City. From Warri in Delta State, Dele Fason reporting for Galaxy TV News.
The United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, UNODC, has assured the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, of further support and renewed partnership in its ongoing efforts to rid the country of substance abuse and illicit drug trafficking. The assurance was given on Wednesday, 5th February 2025, when the new country representative of UNODC in Nigeria, Sheikh Olusmin Tori, a team of his top officials on a courtesy visit to the chairman and chief executive officer of NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, at the agency's national headquarters in Abuja. While acknowledging the leadership role NDLEA plays in drug law enforcement in Africa, and particularly the West African sub-region, the NUODC chief said his visit was to be re-engaged with the agency on how to cascade the successes recorded at the national level to the state. He said this is because the drug scourge is at the basis of most of the security challenges at the sub-national level.
I'm here and I want to re-engage, redynamize, and revigorate our relationship so that it serves Nigerians, but also the rest of this sub-region. And I'm here to listen and to follow your lead. Thank you very much.
Now, a country rep visiting us definitely will need to hear some problem areas that we need your intervention.
Yes.
We have an alternative development unit which is recently set up. I understand we are the only ones going in the continent for now. And so that's one of the areas that I would like greater collaboration. We need some support on this.
The leadership of the Nigerian Union of Journalists has decried the increasing rate of harassment, threat, intimidation and injustice against journalists in the discharge of their constitutional duties. The body also emphasized the need for the entrenchment and strict adherence to the tenets of press freedom in the country. Correspondent Kunuju reports that the National President of the Union, Comrade Al-Hassan Yahaya, while speaking at a news conference in Abuja ahead of the NUJ Press Freedom and Good Governance Award, said a free and independent press plays a crucial role in promoting accountability, transparency and good governance in any country. He added that press freedom remains a critical ingredient and pillar in the architecture of democracy in anywhere in the world.
Gathered here today to celebrate two indispensable pillars of our democracy, press freedom and good governance. A free and independent press plays a critical role in promoting transparency, accountability, and good governance in any society. Press freedom is an indispensable pillar in architecture of democracy anywhere in the world. No democracy can thrive without citizen adequate access to transparent and reliable information.
The National President of the Nigerian Union of Journalists revealed the Press Freedom and Good Governance Award was initiated to serve a veritable barometer for accessing good governance, promote accountability of the elected and appointed public officers holders, as well as leaders in public quoted companies.
This award will serve a veritable barometer for assessing good governance, promote accountability of elected appointed public holders as well as leaders in public quoted companies. Furthermore, Good Governance Awards will engender fair review and competitions among political office holders and business leaders and educate the citizen to hold themselves accountable.
The National Association of Polytechnic Students (NAPS) has called on President Bola Tinubu to sign into law the bill that seeks to end discrimination against polytechnic graduates in Nigerian civil service. Recall that the bill was passed by the 9th National Assembly and is currently awaiting presidential assent. Correspondent Kuloju reports that new national president of the association, Comrade Festus Oyewumi, while speaking with journalists after the national convention of the association, said the lingering dichotomy between hand and university graduates in Nigeria has severe implications on the socio-economic development of the country, hence the need for the bill to be signed. He urged the federal government to salvage the system from immediate collapse through the removal of the existing dichotomy between polytechnic graduates and their counterparts from the university system.
I've always been fighting for BSc dichotomy, in which the past administrations have been trying, but we use another strategy by bringing in different people that have knowledge about it, that will also help us to eradicate this HND BSc dichotomy, because it is not helping the polytechnic. The people coming out of the secondary institution from the secondary school level are running away from the polytechnic because they've been hearing different things about the dichotomy that is not making the polytechnic students, is not making them to go higher than level 14.
NAPS commended the federal government for its allocation to the education sector in the 2025 appropriation bill currently before the National Assembly, adding that the move will enhance educational development in the country.
Government, through the office of the president, which is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has really tried by giving us a very, very good budget, educational budget, and we work in synergy with the government to achieve a lot of things for the polytechnic structure, because we as the polytechnic, we have larger percentage of higher institutions in Nigeria, which is the polytechnic structure, and we will fight for the right of the students by working hands in hands with the government to bring in more goodies for the polytechnic structure.
You're still on to Galaxy Primetime News. We'll quickly take a break. On return, the news continues. Just stay with us. We're glad to have you back, and now to carry on with the rest of the story. The Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has charged Nigerians to remain patient with President Bola Tinubu's policies for the betterment of the country. Wike gave the charge in Ibadan when he led former governors of Benue, Enugu State, Samuel Ortom and Ifeanyi Ogunwaye on condolence visit to Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde over the passing of his elder brother Sunday Makinde, the immediate past governor of Rivers State, who claimed that Nigeria was worse off a few years ago, expressed confidence that President Tinubu's policies will yield positive results and provide remedies to the country's challenges. While admitting that losing a beloved one is never easy, Wike said the visit was to identify with Governor Makinde and pray that God would give him the strength to bear the irreparable loss of his mentor. And in his remarks, he said people in high positions and authority must endeavor to have their medical checkups regularly to avoid the unfortunate incidents that happened to his elder brother.
Mr. President is putting in place policies that, yes, would have to have some effect. People would have to feel it. But at the end of the day, I will not achieve what we were supposed to achieve. Yes. That is the correct thing. But so for me, nobody should panic. The president this well for the country. By the presence of God, the Creator, the one who gives and takes. The small brother will rest in the bosom of the Lord, and God will give him the strength to bear this loss. It's not.
The only thing I can say, really, a lesson for all of us, especially those of us that are into high pressure jobs and environment, is that we must not take yearly wellness check. We mustn't take it with levity.
Edo State Governor Monday Pueblo has charged the judicial arm of government to collaborate with the Edo State government in bridging the gap between the executive and judiciary in the state. The governor gave the charge at the government house in Benin City when he received practicing judges in the state, led by the chief judge. According to the governor, the executive cannot function better except with a synergy with all arms of government. On his part, the chief judge of Edo State, Justice Iyobosa Okumbowa, assured the governor of the commitment in delivering justice to the people of the state.
We have challenges in Edo State. The executive cannot solve it alone. So I need a synergy between the three arms of government. Building a synergy between us and the judiciary, to me, is very important. I must commend the Chief Judge for this visit. And inclusiveness in governance is also very important.
We want to assure you that as one government, we work together for the good of the state. My brother judges and I are committed to delivering
justice to the people of Edo State.
Delta State has been described as a peaceful state that is open for both local and international businesses. This were the words of the state governor, Sheriff Owovori, when he received the Swedish ambassador to Nigeria, Anika Ann Engold, at the government house in Asaba. According to the governor, the peaceful nature of the oil-producing state makes it viable to do business. On her part, the visiting ambassador said Sweden and Nigeria has a long-standing relationship in doing business.
Delta State is a peaceful state, and it's one of the states in Nigeria that produce the crude oil that serves this nation. And we are open to business. Delta State is open to business because it's a place that is very peaceful.
For Sweden and Nigeria, we have long-standing relations. Our diplomatic relations dates back to 1961, so it's more than 60 years. And I'm very glad to build on that long relations. The embassy in Abuja, our main priorities is to
Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke has paid a condolence visit to the two communities engulfed by communal crisis in Obokun local government area of the state, which has led many with varying degrees of injuries and properties destroyed. The governor expressed dismay over the unfortunate incident and promised to set up a panel of inquiry to investigate the immediate and remote causes of the crisis, adding that anyone found capable of sponsoring or participating in the mayhem will be prosecuted. He urged indigents and leaders in the communities to embrace writing petitions to express any dissatisfaction instead of resorting to violence, with a promise that his government will promptly do the needful at any time. The crisis, which erupted the two communities last Sunday over chieftaincy issue, has left many with varying degrees of injuries, including police officers. However, the situation has been brought under control by the police and other security operatives.
We have a responsible and listening governor and of course government. Complain and right here. And we look into it. As I'm speaking right now, we will have and form a panel of inquiry.
And I'll move over to the foreign desk for more news.
This is news from the international scene. U.S. President Donald Trump's plan for the U.S. to take over war-torn Gaza and create a Riviera of the Middle East after resettling Palestinians elsewhere has shattered U.S. policy on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and sparked widespread criticism. The shock move from Trump, a former New York property developer, was swiftly condemned by international powers, with regional heavyweight Saudi Arabia, which Trump's hope will establish ties with Israel, rejecting the plan outright. Turkey called the proposal unacceptable, and France said it risks destabilizing the Middle East. Countries from Russia, China, Germany, Spain, Ireland and UK said they continue to support a two-state solution that has formed the basis of Washington's policy in the region for decades, which is that Gaza would be part of a future Palestinian state that includes the occupied West Bank. Trump, in his first major Middle East policy announcement, said he envisioned building resorts where international communities could live in harmony after over 15 months of Israeli bombardment, which devastated the tiny coastal enclave and killed more than 47,000 people by Palestinian tallies. Trump's son-in-law and former aide, Jared Kushner, last year described Gaza as valuable waterfront property. Thousands of employees at the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, will be placed on leave from Friday night, the agency has said in a statement on its website. In the announcement, USAID said all direct hire personnel will be placed on leave at the end of this week, except those on mission-critical functions, core leadership, and specially designed programs. The move is the latest in a string of cuts President Donald Trump has made to government-funded programs since returning to office last month. Many have argued the choice to shut it down could have a profound impact on humanitarian programs around the world. USAID said it would work with the State Department to arrange and pay for return travel for its many personnel posted outside the U.S. within the month. Those employees who are part of the exceptions will be told by 3 p.m. EDT on Thursday. A statement posted on USAID website concludes with the message, "Thank you for your service." The agency, which provides humanitarian aid to more than 100 countries, employs 10,000 people worldwide, and 2/3 of those people work overseas, according to the Congressional Research Service. Students and teachers recall trying to save the lives of their comrades before fleeing the scene of a mass shooting in Sweden, described by the Prime Minister on Wednesday as a dark day in the country's history. Police said there was no evidence that suspects, described by media as a 35-year-old unemployed recluse, had ideological motives, adding that the attacker appeared to have acted alone and shot himself dead at the scene. At least 11 people died and many people were wounded in the attack at the Risbäcksa Adult Education Center in Örebro, central Sweden on Tuesday. 5 of the 6 victims who were treated in the hospital, 4 women and 2 men, had required surgery for gunshot wounds and remained in a serious condition, regional authorities said. Some students were in class while others were having lunch when the gunman began firing. Maria Pegado, 54, a teacher at the school, said someone threw open the door to a classroom just after the lunch break and shouted to everyone to get out. Still on the international scene, the Philippines Parliament has voted to impeach Vice President Sara Duterte following complaints about alleged corruption. Duterte has been accused of misusing millions of dollars in public funds and threatening to have President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. assassinated. She has denied the charges and alleged she is the victim of a political vendetta. The shock move is widely seen as an escalation of the bitter feud between Duterte and Marcos, which has kept the nation on edge for months. Both are signs of Philippines' political dynasties. She is the daughter of former President Rodrigo Duterte, while he is the son of late strongman leader Ferdinand Marcos Sr. A total of 215 out of 306 members of House of Representatives voted for impeachment, well above the 1/3 threshold needed for the bill to pass. The bill will now be heard by the 24-member Senate, which will convene as an impeachment court. If found guilty, Duterte faces removal from her post and would be the first vice president in Philippine history to be impeached. She is expected to stay in office until the Senate delivers its judgment. A trial date has not been set yet. 3 men have been arrested after almost 200 kilograms of drugs were discovered in countries Laois and Dublin. During searches in Montmillick in County Laois on Tuesday, Garda Irish Police seized about 182 kilograms of cocaine and 4 kilograms of cannabis herb. In a follow-up search in West Dublin, a further 17 kg of cocaine were found, as well as £25,000 in cash. 8 vehicles and drug paraphernalia were also seized. Garda said the value of the drugs were more than £14 million. They are now undergoing analysis by Forensic Science Ireland, and officers have said investigations are ongoing. Lastly, on the international scene, police are looking for armed men after a shooting was reported outside the metro station in the center of Brussels. CCTV footage broadcast by local media showed at least 2 men wearing balaclavas and carrying weapons at the entrance of Clemenceau station in the Belgian city early on Wednesday. Video from the scene showed an exchange of the fire at 6:15 a.m. local time. Sarah Fredericks, spokesperson for Brussels Police, said the suspects fled into the metro station and may still be in the metro tunnels. The spokeswoman said there were no injuries in the shooting. Both local police and Federal Railway Police are searching the area. Police are looking for a small group of people, probably 2 or 3 individuals, Ms. Fredericks said, adding that they may still be armed and the police did not want to take any risks. Brussels today reported that the suspect was carrying what appeared to be newsman-verified video incident circulated on social media, which showed two men brandishing what looks like rifles and shooting. From the video, it is unclear who they are aiming at. Clemenceau Station has been shut as the nearby Brussels Midi Station, which also serves as a terminal for Eurostar trains. A command post to coordinate the search has been set up at the Anderlecht Town Hall, west of the Belgian capital city centre. And that's it from the international scene.
Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to